This lesson is on volume of prisms and cylinders. Volume is the amount of space inside a figure. We talk about volume in terms of cubed units since it works with the length, the width, and the height. It's got 3 dimensions that go into volume, so that's why our units are cubed. In general, the formula for volume is capital BH. Remember that capital B stands for the area of the base. So in general, we will take the area of the base and then times the height of the figure, the distance between the bases if there's more than one. Specifically, prisms and pyramids, we will replace the B in the formula with a set of parentheses because each time we find the area of our shape or the area of our base in a prism or a pyramid, that shape can be different. Looking at the 2 pictures here, our base shape in this case is a triangle. The shape in this one is a rectangle, and you can have hexagonal bases or rectangular bases or square bases or whatever you want. So that's why we use parentheses instead of just leaving the capital B in there, because we know we need to replace that with the area of the base. Here's our first example. We're going to find the volume of this prism. This prism is a triangular prism like I just alluded to. So the area of our base, we will use our 1/2 base times height to find the area of our triangle. 1/2 base times height is 15.6. 1/2 times 5.2 times 6. And then we take that times the height of our figure. The height between our bases is 7, so that's why we put 7 there. So the 15.6 represents the area of the base, and then the 7 represents the height. That's how we get the volume of a figure, of a prism. We would get 109.2, and then remember it's cubed units. And this prism, to find the volume, since it's a rectangle, we take the area of our rectangle, which is 8 times 4, which would be 32. And then again, we would take it times the height between our bases, which is 7. So we would do 32 times 7, and that would give us 224 cubed units. It's just as well, if you want to use the bottom as the base, you would take 7 times 8 and get 56 for the area of the base, and then you take it times 4. Notice what you are doing. In this case, you took 4 times 8 times 7. If you use the bottom side as the base, you took 7 times 8 times 4. Now we know when it comes to multiplication that it doesn't matter what order you put those in. So in terms of a rectangular prism, it's much easier just to say, I have these 3 values, I have to multiply them. Some people prefer to say, I know that one of these is the base, so I'm going to find the area of that and take it times the height. It makes no difference how you look at it. You can look at it either way, you'll get the same answer. In terms of cylinders, we know that the area of our base is a circle, and so we're going to use pi r squared for that area. So we will take pi r squared times h to get the volume of a cylinder. Notice we only need 2 values again, the radius of the base and the height of the cylinder. So in this case, we would take pi times 11 squared, which is 121, times our height, which is 25. We would get 3,025 pi cubed units, or you could multiply them out and get the rounded answer if you wanted. Same thing here, we will take pi times 8 squared, which is 64, times the height, which is 12. That gives us 768 pi cubed units, or we could multiply that out and get a rounded answer. I mentioned in the last section that we were going to talk about composite figures. Remember that a composite figure is simply taking 2 or more 3-dimensional figures and putting them together. In this case, this gazebo and the roof make a composite figure because the top part is a pyramid and the bottom part is a prism. So when we add those when we find the volume of the entire thing, how much space is inside the entire thing, we would simply take the volume of the prism, add it to the volume of the pyramid, and we would be ready to go. We don't need to alter any formulas for volume like we did for surface area. That is the end of this lesson. Your homework is as follows.